This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
The number of things that they've tried to tackle in this period is really enormous.
Spain and Portugal, those two nations in southern Europe have a combined population of over 50 million people.
A Bible for every believer. Every believer in Jesus needs their own copy of God's Word.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Weather on the way. A rare level 3 alert has been issued for central and western New York and western Pennsylvania tomorrow. New York and Pennsylvania are in the danger zone.
We can see these winds up to 45 to near 55 miles per hour with damaging winds. Large hail of an inch size possible.
Alerts already going out, but today it is all quiet on the western front. This storm is in Minneapolis at this hour and moving east. Kevin has details in about 3 minutes. It's President Trump's 99th day in office, and he's celebrating this week by touting some of the measures put in place at his inauguration. Today was Border Day. There are 100 images of illegal criminal immigrants that have been deported plastered on posters outside the White House. Border Czar Tom Homan issuing a warning to undocumented immigrants.
You cannot hide from ICE.
Homan said people who are in the U.S. illegally will be prosecuted if they remain here.
If you fail to leave the United States after receiving a removal order, we can and will issue monetary fines up to $998 a day.
President Trump also signing an executive order on law and order and sanctuary cities that don't comply with federal immigration law. Ben Dominic is the editor-at-large at The Spectator.
The number of things that they've tried to tackle in this period is really enormous, touching every aspect of American life. You know, the confrontations not just with America's enemies abroad, but also, huge institutions here at home, including, higher education. And none is more important, I think, than the shift that we've seen on the border.
He says Trump is right to draw attention to safety at the U.S. border.
And the flow of both criminals and human trafficking and fentanyl and everything else that came across for more than 3 years, the president has proven that you can actually make a huge difference in that area, and that's why they're touting it today.
The Kremlin is announcing a 3-day ceasefire with Ukraine. It begins May 8th. CBS reporter Charlie D'Agata says it shows movement in negotiations.
The official line out of the Pentagon, as Secretary Hegseth, it's the same as it's coming out of the White House. They want to stop the killing. So even if that's temporary, it shows a level of restraint, and anything that can stop the killing even temporarily, even if it's a gesture from the Kremlin, it does show a bit of accommodation and a bit of wiggle room.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine needs to happen and happen soon.
This week is going to be a really important week in which we have to make a determination about whether this is an endeavor that we want to continue to be involved in.
Rubio says President Trump has helped bring the two sides closer to a peace deal than they've ever been before, but there's still a long ways to go.
We want to see it happen. There are reasons to be optimistic, but there are reasons to be realistic, of course, as well. We're close, but we're not close enough.
In Rome, the conclave to pick a successor to Pope Francis will begin 1 week from Wednesday. CBS contributor Delia Gallagher.
In the last two conclaves, a pope has been chosen within 2 days, so we could expect perhaps something similar, but you never know.
Parts of Europe got hit with a major power outage today.
It's primarily affecting two countries, Spain and Portugal. Those two nations in southern Europe have a combined population of over 50 million people, so this is a very big deal. Parts of France were also apparently briefly affected.
Some people trapped in elevators and on subway trains. No word on what happened. Coast Guard officials have released part of the Mayday radio call that left one person dead and 10 injured in Clearwater, Florida after a boat hit and run.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. There's been a boat collision, the Clearwater Ferry. Underneath the Clearwater Memorial Causeway, the Clearwater Ferry is adrift.
Authorities said this afternoon the driver of the boat that hit that ferry has been arrested and is cooperating with investigators.
The captain voluntarily submitted to a breathalyzer, and there was no alcohol determined in that breathalyzer sample. It read 000 based on the certified breath test that was given to the intoxilizer.
The crash occurred just outside a zone where boaters are required to observe no wake speeds. And Bible Month is in full swing for Voice of the Martyrs. Vice President Todd Nettleton says they're trying to put 500,000 Bibles in the hands of persecuted Christians in 70 countries around the world.
We talk at Voice of the Martyrs about a Bible for every believer. Every believer in Jesus needs their own copy of God's Word, and we want to make that happen for Christians who face persecution. And I'm so thankful for listeners who have stepped up and said, hey, I want to help with that. I'll sponsor a Bible. I'll sponsor 10 Bibles. That really means a lot to our brothers and sisters around the world.
Bible Month ends Wednesday night. You can learn more at persecution.com. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, rates are going up for National Grid. Tom Homan set to pay a visit to New York, and Holocaust Remembrance Day observed locally. Those stories after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. A beautiful evening will segue into a mostly starlit, mild night tonight. Low temperatures in most areas stay above 50. Tomorrow, warm, some sunshine and breezy. Showers and thunderstorms, though, reach western New York and western Pennsylvania in the afternoon, spread east tonight. Some of those storms could be strong, with hail and wind damages potential on a localized basis. High temperatures tomorrow, 70s and low 80s. Then cooler Wednesday, but clearing for sunshine. High temperatures Wednesday, mid-50s to the middle 60s.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll definitely keep our eye on the sky. Checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. The border czar is heading to the Empire State. Family Life's Mark Webster has a preview.
Yeah, Trump administration border chief Tom Homan is expected to swing by Rochester tomorrow. It comes after Homan took to social media about a month ago to express support for some city police officers who broke with the city's sanctuary city policy by aiding Homeland Security officers who had asked for help during an immigration-related traffic stop. In that post, Homan said he stands with the Rochester officers and criticized sanctuary policies, which he says endanger police and the public. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
National Grid customers in upstate New York could soon have to dig deeper into their wallets to pay for gas and electricity. The utility company, which serves folks in Monroe, Livingston, Orleans, and Genesee counties, has reached a settlement with state regulators. This means the average customer will pay $14 more per month for electricity and $7 more for gas. The rate hike is expected to take effect in September. Some western New York County jails are feeling the weight of Governor Hochul's decision to fire thousands of state prison guards who protested working conditions earlier this year. Those firings have led to overcrowding at county-owned facilities. Niagara County Sheriff Michael Filicetti says the state corrections department dropped the ball big time.
They've really put us in a predicament here of dealing with issues that are created at state level, and we're dealing with all of them at the county level.
Cattaraugus and Chautauqua County jails are also feeling the impact of overcrowding caused by lack of staff at state facilities. Cattaraugus County Sheriff Eric Butler.
We're still on the hook paying for their medication, for their medical care. We have to feed these guys. The state doesn't seem to be too concerned about it. Basically, the meter's running every day. So every day that these folks are in our custody, it's all falling on the local taxpayers.
There are about 1,600 state-ready inmates being held at county jails across New York. People in Pennsylvania have more options to fly. Officials at the Johnstown Airport say business there has really taken off with the addition of service by SkyWest in 2020. Airport Assistant Manager Heather Tomasco tells WJAC a smaller airport like Johnstown's offers advantages larger places like Pittsburgh can't.
With the drive to Pittsburgh, you're spending so much time in a car. You have to show up 3 hours before to get on your plane. So flying in and out of Johnstown, you can be here an hour before. Our TSA lines are so short here, and we also offer free parking.
SkyWest offers 50 passenger jet flights to major hubs, including Chicago's O'Hare and Washington's Dulles airports. And Sunday was Holocaust Remembrance Day around the globe. In Rochester, the observance included a concert at the Eastman School of Music. Haunting violin music from that concert with the theme of a time to remember. Violin professor Renee Joels tells WROC.
In today's climate, when there are so many people who are fractured and not understanding each other and actively disliking each other, and so many wars, it's just incredibly important to remember what that means in terms of the loss of human potential.
The works performed were composed by individuals who survived or died in Nazi concentration or work camps during World War II. Next at 5, issues in education with our own Bob Price and Dr. Ralph Kerr. Let's listen in.
It is almost time to decide those school budgets in New York. I know in my hometown, they got a big one, $146 million worth. I just want to start with this question, and I've heard it's typically around 10% of eligible voters cast ballots on school budget days. This year it's May 20th. We've been talking for years, Ralph, about voter apathy. I mean, decades, really. You've written about this. You've got books on this topic. Any reason to think the turnout will be higher this year than it has been in the past?
Yeah, I wish I could say I'm really optimistic about an increase, but I'm not. And primarily because there's really not been a conversation about budget this year. And I think that's due to the fact that the state has still not passed their budget. In fact, last week they put an extender on which takes them through till tomorrow. And in the meantime, schools are required last Friday to send out their military ballots, and Monday they are to put in their report card to the state. Now, all that without a firm number from the state. It's just pathetic. And I think because of that, because there hasn't been a lot of hoopla over it, the turnout, if it's 10%, I think will be welcome this year again, which is really too bad.
It is too bad. And these districts are in many respects held hostage by the fact that New York can't seem to get its act together.
Absolutely.
That's Dr. Ralph Kerr of the Teaching and Learning Institute. You can subscribe, listen to, and share Issues in Education and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
Every spring, thousands of people hit the Appalachian Trail, hoping to hike from Georgia all the way to Maine. They know where they're going, and they know it won't be easy. Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. The AT, as it's called, is a path almost 2,200 miles long, passing through 14 states. To endure all those ups and downs, hikers must plan ahead. They load their food, clothing, and shelter into a backpack, and then they start walking for months toward their destination. We also need to be good stewards and plan ahead for life's hills and valleys while believing that God promises to meet our needs. On your hike through life, let Jesus share your burdens. It might not be easy, but trust Him every step of the way by faith as He guides you toward your final destination, heaven. Manage your finances wisely with the easy-to-use FaithFi app. Download FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store, or learn more at faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, what would make you walk out of a restaurant? One woman may have hit her limit. Her story after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. After a great start to the work week, nice weather will continue tonight into tomorrow, but then there comes a change. A cold front bringing big storms today to parts of the upper Midwest comes east. It'll bring showers and locally strong thunderstorms to our area later Tuesday afternoon and night. Then cooler air will follow, but skies will clear. In the meantime, a beautiful evening will segue into a mostly starlit and mild night tonight. Low temperatures in most areas stay above 50. Tomorrow, warm, some sunshine and breezy. Showers and thunderstorms, though, reach western New York and western Pennsylvania in the afternoon, spread east tonight. Some of those storms could be strong, with hail and wind damages potential on a localized basis. High temperatures tomorrow, 70s and low 80s. Then cooler Wednesday, but clearing for sunshine. High temperatures Wednesday, mid-50s to the middle 60s.
Thank you, Kevin. Finally, at 5, a patron at a Virginia restaurant recently had an experience she won't soon forget, though she would like to. This wasn't the case of, waiter, there's a fly in my soup, but rather, there's a snake in my drink.
I leaned in to take a sip, and I noticed that something hit me on the forehead, and I looked at my husband like, what was that? And when I turned around, I saw the snake, and I just jumped away. It was moving. It started wrapping around my straw.
Yeah, don't look down. That baby snake likely snuck in through an air conditioning vent. The distraught diner says she probably won't be returning to that restaurant anytime soon, or any other restaurant for that matter. And that's the world that we live in for Monday, the 28th of April. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.